Yeah, quick question for you. Favorite national park in Canada? In spite of the Jasper wildfires, you got a favorite one? Best national park in Canada.
I'm going to stay close to home. Riding Mountain National Park. They have Clear Lake, which is a Stanley Thompson design, I believe, and I know Donald Ross helped out with that one. From what I understand, they would take a lot of the leftover plugs from the greens that they were putting into Elmhurst and Pine Ridge and moving them out to Clear Lake. But one of the most picturesque golf courses in all of the prairies.
Riding Mountain National Park golf course?
No, Clear Lake at Riding Mountain National Park.
We got to put that on the list for next summer.
Oh, it is. Believe me when I tell you, it is one of those bucket list courses. There is not a blade of grass that's out of place.
Really? Yeah. Okay. I thought you were going to go with Sunnyvale.
Shout out Bubbles. Shout out Julian.
The trailer park.
God love the boys.
Oh, but thoughts and prayers with Jasper, though. That was tough to see some of the video and some of the spots burning down, the wildfires.
Well, that was more, it kind of hit close to home for you because you were doing your amazing mini doc series over the summer about the railway hotels of Canada, and that one was on the list.
My last one got canceled because the fires happened the week of my stay, and I wasn't able to go, but this is what I was told by somebody very close to one of the hotels, let's just say, was apparently, and this is just all speculation, they knew the fire was coming. I believe the municipality of Jasper and the firefighters said, hey, to Parks Canada, because you can't even touch a blade of grass without getting put in jail. We want to dig a moat around the town to save everything. We don't want anything to burn. They said, nope, you're not digging a moat, just leave it. But we're going to burn the town down. Why don't we? And they wouldn't let them do it. And then they had requested help apparently from Hinton, Edson, and Edmonton firefighters to come help. They rejected all of it. They said, no, we're just going to stick with the 40 firefighters we have now. Again, such a shame. And then 33 or 40% of the entire town burned down. And I mean, such a shame because that town obviously thrives on tourism. And you're not going to have any tourism in full swing probably till, next summer? Maybe?
Kind of reminds me of a similar story that happened with the floods here in the prairies in 97, where back in the 80s, Duff Roblin, who was the premier of Manitoba, back in the 70s, decided to do a floodway, saying, hey, we need like a spillway. If the water comes up too much, we can just kind of divert it all here. And he spent an obscene amount of tax dollars. And he went, oh, my God, you're crazy. You're nuts, blah, 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 blah. And then sure enough, in 97, literally saved the city of Winnipeg, saved the city. And they ended up giving him a key to the city, and he was honored, and things named after him. They called it Duff's Ditch, the floodway. After the floods of 97, the city that did, unfortunately, take huge damage was Grand Forks, North Dakota, about 2 hours south of Winnipeg in North Dakota. And I remember Winnipeg kind of going to them saying, hey, we built a floodway about 20 some odd years ago. Here's the plans. Here's how we did it. You should do this too. And they went, nah, we're good. And they got flooded again probably about 15 years later. I don't remember the exact times on that. But I think something like that, the foresight to have that, sure, it's expensive. Sure, it doesn't look good on paper when you're trying to go through all the red tape and elections and whatnot. But boy, oh boy, had they been able to pull that off, that would have been really helpful. They had fire breaks. So they do that a lot in northern Alberta too, where they literally cut huge rows out of the forest to make sure that there's enough room. Like, hey, if a fire does happen, it'll stop here. But when the fires that happened 9 years ago, in Fort McMurray again, where it took the town down, even the fire breaks weren't enough. Like the wind was that strong that it pulled it over to the other side of that fire break and got into the city. So sometimes as much you can plan ahead as much as you want, but it doesn't always work out.
It's a shame though, because they had the pine beetle infestation where half the forest ended up getting knocked down. Then you just have this giant lighter fluid essentially sitting there on the forest floor just waiting. Yeah. And then you see the clips from Parliament the last couple of years. Hey, we need to put money towards this. No, it's fine. And this exact same thing happened in
California.
Waterton Lakes.
Yeah.
Waterton Lakes in 2017. Right literally meters away from the Prince of Wales Hotel, everything else burnt down. Wow. So what a shame. But
Mother Nature wins every time, ladies and gentlemen. Never forget that.
We talked about it before, but it's crazy how we think we're so cool and we're so powerful and we're so smart, but Mother Nature always humbles us.
Exactly. And I always think it's very, very egotistical of us as humans to think that we have this innate ability to dictate the weather, and if we do this and we do no, the world will decide how it's going to react. We don't have as much of an influence on that as we think we do.
Yeah, agreed. But hey, we'll be going to Jasper next summer. I know we talked about that already.
Yeah,
we're going to take the train. We're going to do a little boys trip to Edmonton, a little Jasper.
Golf. I'm looking forward to golfing out there.
I'm excited to go swim in Burke Lake with you and do a little hike in the Rockies.
That'll be an upgrade from when we went into the North Saskatchewan River.
Ooh, South Saskatchewan.
South Saskatchewan, pardon me, yes.
Ooh, it was...
good old Poop Island.
To quote Bubbles, it was greasy, boys. It was real greasy.
That was a great trip, though, by the way.
Yeah,
That
it was fantastic. It was a great retreat. Good time to go golfing, spend some boys' time after we've been working so hard on the show the last 2 years. But
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. We do a new podcast every single Sunday during the season called Sling the Biscuit. It is a non-mainstream hockey podcast, so we talk about my hockey career, the minor pros, Spain, the Fed, you name it, all the stuff that you won't hear in the mainstream news,
Music,
pop culture.
politics, a little bit.
Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.